Namaste, and once again welcome back to another session of online mathematics class. Last class we have discussed first derivative test and second derivative test, and also we have discussed absolute maximum and absolute minimum. And today we can discuss the application problems related to the topic second derivative test and absolute maximum and absolute minimum. Okay, let me start with question number 4 in exercise 6.5. Here the question is, prove that the following functions do not have maxima or minima. The functions are f of x equal to e raised to x, g of x equal to log x, and h of x equal to x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. Okay, so take the first one. F of x is equal to e raised to x. We have to prove the function do not have maxima or minima. Okay, first of all we can find f dash of x which is equal to e raised to x, and by second derivative test for local maxima f dash of c equal to 0 and f double dash of c is less than 0. F dash of c equal to 0 and f double dash of c is less than 0 for maxima. Okay, and for minima f dash of c is equal to 0 and f double dash of c is greater than 0. Okay, these are the conditions for maxima or minima. Okay, so here we can find the critical point c. So f dash of x equal to 0 implies e raised to x equal to 0, but there is no real number x for which e raised to x is equal to 0. So this is not possible. So we can conclude the function do not have maxima or minima. Okay, it is not possible since there is no real number x such that e raised to x is equal to 0. Therefore, the function f do not have maxima or minima. Okay. Similarly, we can take the second part. Second one is g of x is equal to log x. So here g dash of x is equal to 1 by x. So g dash of x equal to 0 implies 1 by x is equal to 0, and it is not possible. So what we can conclude? Therefore, the function g do not have maxima or minima. Okay. And what about the third one? H of x is equal to, say, polynomial function x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. H dash of x equal to what? 3x square plus 2x plus 1. H dash of x equal to 0 implies 3x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. Here we can find the discriminant b square minus 4ac first. So 2 square minus 4 into 3 into 1. That is 4 minus 12 which is equal to minus 8 less than 0. B square minus 4ac is less than 0. That means the quadratic equation has no real roots. Okay. Therefore, the equation has no real roots. Real root does not exist. So we cannot find a value of x such that h dash of x is equal to 0. The function do not have maxima or minima. So we can conclude the function h do not have maxima or minima. Clear? The next question is, find the maximum profit that a company can make if the profit function is given by p of x equal to 41 minus 72x minus 18x square. Okay. So here also we can apply the second derivative test. First p dash of x is equal to 41, constant derivative 0. Then minus 72x, derivative is minus 72, minus 18x square, that is minus 36x. Okay. And p double dash of x is equal to minus 72 is a constant, derivative 0, minus 36x, that is minus 36. Now we can find the critical point. P dash of x equal to 0 implies, okay, minus 72 minus 36 x is equal to 0, or we can write 36 x equal to minus 72, or x equal to minus 72 divided by 36, and which is equal to minus 2. Now we have to check whether the second order derivative is positive or negative at the critical point C. Okay, here the value of C is what? Minus 2. So at x is equal to minus 2, P double dash of x is equal to, here minus 36, there is no variable x, so P double dash of minus 2, that will be equal to minus 36, and which is less than 0. Clearly it is less than 0, negative. Okay. So here P double dash of x is less than 0. That means the profit function P of x is maximum when x is equal to minus 2. And finally we have to find the maximum profit. Okay, maximum profit. So here the maximum profit is equal to P of minus 2. So in P of x we can replace x by minus 2. So 41 minus 72 into minus 2, then minus 18 into minus 2 the whole square. That is 41 minus into minus plus 72 into 2, 144. Then minus 18 into minus 2 square, 4. Okay. So 41 plus 144, then minus 72, 18 into 4. So which is equal to 41 plus 72. 144 minus 72 is what? 72. Or which is equal to what? 113. So the maximum profit is equal to 113 units. Clear? Now we move on to question number 8. At what points in the interval, closed interval 0 to pi, does the function sine 2x attain its maximum value? Okay. So maximum and minimum values in the closed interval. That is what is called the absolute maximum and absolute minimum. Okay. Then we have to find it out. So let us take f of x as sine 2x. And f dash of x is equal to cos 2x into 2, or 2 cos 2x. Now f dash of x equal to 0 implies 2 cos 2x is equal to 0, or cos 2x is equal to 0. As we know, cos x equal to 0 for all odd multiples of pi by 2. Okay, odd multiples of pi by 2. Or we can say x equal to some 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. Cos x is equal to 0 implies x equal to what? 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, or odd multiples of pi by 2. Here instead of x the term is what? 2x. So 2x can take the values odd multiples of pi by 2, that is pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, then 5 pi by 2, and 7 pi by 2. Okay. So x value is respectively pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4, and 7 pi by 4. If you take 9 pi by 2, that means the next order multiples of pi by 2, then here x value becomes 9 pi by 4. Okay. But this value 9 pi by 4, that means 9 into 45, it doesn't belongs to the interval closed interval 0 comma 2 pi. Okay, that's why we don't take the value 9 pi by 2. Okay, so the values of 2x are pi by 2, 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2 and 7 pi by 2, and therefore we can write x is equal to pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4 and 7 pi by 4. Okay, now to find the maximum value we have to put the values of x in the function f of x equal to sin 2x. Okay, that is f of pi by 4. F of pi by 4 means sin 2 into pi by 4. Sin 2 pi by 4, that is sin pi by 2. And the value of sin pi by 2 is what? 1. Then the next number is 3 pi by 4. So f of 3 pi by 4, which is equal to sin of 2 into 3 pi by 4. That is 3 pi by 2. Sin 3 pi by 2. Sin 3 pi by 2 value minus 1. Sin 270 degree minus 1. And 5 pi by 4. F of 5 pi by 4, which is equal to sin of 2 into 5 pi by 4. That is sin 5 pi by 2 and which is equal to what? 1. Okay. Then f of 7 pi by 4. That is sin of 2 into 7 pi by 4. Sin 7 pi by 2 and again it is minus 1. Okay. Now we have to take the values in the interval also. That means the n points of the interval. Here the n points are 0 and 2 pi. So here we have to find the value of f of x at the extreme points or end points. Okay, f of 0, that is sin 2x sin 0 which is equal to 0, and f of 2 pi. F of 2 pi means sin 2 into 2 pi, that is sin 4 pi. You know sin n pi is 0, so sin 2 pi is also 0. Clear? So we can write the maximum value. Maximum value of the function here is 1. Here the function f of x attains its maximum value twice at x equal to pi by 4 and x equal to 5 pi by 4. So we can write, therefore the maximum value is 1 at x equal to pi by 4 and 5 pi by 4. Okay. The next question is, what is the maximum value of the function sin x plus cos x? We have to find the maximum value of the function sin x plus cos x. So we can take f of x as sin x plus cos x. Now I am going to multiply and divide by root 2. Okay. So root 2 into sin x into 1 by root 2, then plus cos x into 1 by root 2. Okay, if you take 1 by root 2 outside, that root 2 and root 2 will cancel and we get the first step, sin x plus cos x. So sin x plus cos x can be written as root 2 into sin x into 1 by root 2 plus cos x into 1 by root 2. Okay, so root 2 into sin x and this 1 by root 2 can be written as cos pi by 4, cos 45 degree. Cos pi by 4 is what? 1 by root 2. Okay, so plus cos x, then 1 by root 2, again 1 by root 2. Here it can be written as sin pi by 4. Cos pi by 4 and sin pi by 4 both are equal to 1 by root 2. Okay, so root 2 into, now this is of the form sin x cos y plus cos x sin y. Sin x cos y plus cos x sin y, and it is what? Sin x plus y. Here it is x plus pi by 4. Okay, root 2 into sin x plus pi by 4. And we know the value of sin theta belongs to closed interval -1, 1. Okay. -1 less than or equal to sin theta less than or is equal to 1. So here, this value, that means sin x plus pi by 4. The maximum value of sin x plus pi by 4 is what? 1. Because here the greater number is 1, smaller number is what? -1. So the maximum value for this function will be equal to 1. Okay. So here the maximum value of sin x plus pi by 4 is 1. So the maximum value of f of x is what? Here it is root 2 into 1. So root 2 into 1 is what? Root 2. So we can write, therefore the maximum value of f of x is root 2. Root 2 into this value is 1. So root 2 into 1 is what? Root 2. Understood? Now we move on to question number 11. It is given that x equal to 1, the function x raised to 4 minus 62x square plus ax plus 9 attains its maximum value on the interval closed interval 0, 2. Find the value of a. So let the function be f of x raised to 4 minus 62x square plus ax plus 9. First of all, we can find f dash of x, which is equal to 4x cube minus 124x then plus a. Okay. So it is given that f attains its maximum value at x equal to 1. So since f attains its maximum value at x equal to 1, and clearly 1 belongs to the interval, the given interval closed interval 0, 2. So what we can conclude? F dash of 1 is equal to 0. Okay, a function f of x attains its maximum or minimum value when f dash of c is equal to 0 at critical points. F dash of c is equal to 0. Okay, so here f dash of 1 equal to 0, and here f dash of x is 4x cube minus 124x plus a. So here we can put 1. 4 into 1 cube minus 120, 4 into 1, then plus a is equal to 0. And which implies 4 into 1 cube, 4 into 1 is 4, minus 124, then plus a is equal to 0. That is minus 120 plus a is equal to 0. Therefore, a is equal to 120. Okay. Now the next question is, find the maximum and minimum values of x plus sin 2x on closed interval 0, 2 pi. So let the function be f of x, which is equal to x plus sin 2x. So here the maximum and the minimum values in closed interval, that means absolute maximum and absolute minimum. Okay, that we have to find out. So for that, first we can find f dash of x, 1 plus cos 2x into 2, or 1 plus 2 cos 2x. F dash of x equal to 0 implies 1 plus 2 cos 2x is equal to 0. That is 2 cos 2x is equal to minus 1, or cos 2x is equal to minus 1 by 2. Okay. Now it is of the form cos x is equal to cos phi. So cos x equal to cos phi implies x equal to 2n pi plus or minus y. So you have already studied the concept in class 11 trigonometry, trigonometric equations. Okay, the section is trigonometric equations. General solution, cos x equal to cos y implies x equal to 2n pi plus or minus y, where n is an integer, n belongs to z. That result we can apply here. Okay, so here cos 2x is equal to minus 1 by 2, and this can be written as cos 2x is equal to minus cos 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is cos pi by 3. Okay, cos 60 is 1 by 2, so we can write cos 2x is equal to minus cos pi by 3. So first of all we have to change this minus sign. We know cos x is negative in second and third quadrant. Okay, so to get the value in the second quadrant, we can write pi minus theta. Okay, cos pi minus theta is what? Cos pi minus theta will be equal to minus cos theta. Okay, so in second quadrant and third quadrant, cos theta is negative. So here I am going to find the value in the second quadrant. To get the value in third quadrant, we can use the formula pi plus theta. Okay, cos pi plus theta is also minus cos theta. Clear? So here I write cos of pi minus pi by 3. And what is pi minus pi by 3? It is equal to 2 pi by 3. Cos 2 pi by 3. Cos 2x is equal to what? Cos 2 pi by 3. Now it is of the form cos x is equal to cos y. Instead of x, here it is 2x. And in the place of y, it is 2 pi by 3. So cos x equal to cos y implies x is equal to 2n pi plus or minus y. Here y value is 2 pi by 3. And here also not x, 2x. Okay, instead of x it is 2x. If it is x, then only we can write x. Okay, so here 2x equal to 2n pi plus or minus 2 pi by 3, where n belongs to z. N is an integer. And we can divide the entire equation by 2. So x is equal to, therefore x equal to 2 cancel n pi, then plus or minus, here also 2 cancel pi by 3. N pi plus or minus pi by 3, n belongs to z. Okay, now we have to find the values of x which belongs to the interval 0, 2 pi. Okay, for that we can replace n by integers. So first I am going to put 0. So when n is equal to 0, x equal to 0 plus or minus pi by 3. N pi plus or minus pi by 3, here n is 0. Okay, 0 plus or minus pi by 3. That means plus pi by 3 and minus pi by 3. So here pi by 3 or x equal to minus pi by 3. But x equal to minus pi by 3 doesn't belongs to closed interval 0, 2 pi. So this value we can reject and take the value x equal to pi by 3. Okay. And next we can put n equal to 1. When n is equal to 1, x equal to n pi, 1 pi, that means pi plus or minus pi by 3. That is x equal to pi plus pi by 3 or x equal to pi minus pi by 3. That is x equal to 4 pi by 3 or x equal to 2 pi by 3. These two values belongs to the interval 0, 2 pi. So we should check the values both 4 pi by 3 and 2 pi by 3. Now we can put n is equal to 2. So when n is equal to 2, x is equal to n pi, that is 2 pi plus or minus pi by 3. That is x equal to 2 pi plus pi by 3 or x is equal to 2 pi minus pi by 3. That is x is equal to 3 2s are 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 pi by 3 or x is equal to 6 pi minus pi, 5 pi by 3. Here 5 pi by 3 belongs to 0, 2 pi, but 7 pi by 3. 7 pi by 3 means 7 into 60. 7 into 60 is 420. So 420 degree is more than 360 degree. So it doesn't belongs to the interval 0, 2 pi. So here we cannot consider the value 7 pi by 3 since it doesn't belongs to closed interval 0, 2 pi. Okay. So this value rejected and take the value 5 pi by 3. 5 into 60. Pi by 3 is 60. 5 into 60, 300. 300 degree is in between 0 and 2 pi. Okay. So these are the values of x satisfying the condition. Okay, satisfying the condition means it belongs to the given interval. Okay. Now, in order to find the maximum and the minimum values, we have to choose all the critical points we got. That means, namely, the x values are, first one is pi by 3, then 2 pi by 3, 4 pi by 3, and finally 5 pi by 3. Okay, these all x values we have to consider along with the n points of the interval. That means 0, 2 pi, 0 and 2 pi. Okay, so in all these points we have to find the value of f of x. Okay, here first we can find f of 0. Okay, so f of 0 is equal to 0 plus sine 0. Sine 0 is again 0. 0 plus 0 which is equal to 0. Then f of pi by 3 which is equal to x value pi by 3, then plus sine 2 pi by 3. 2x, 2 into pi by 3. Okay. So this can be written as pi by 3 plus sine pi minus pi by 3. Sine 2 pi by 3 can be written as sine pi minus pi by 3. Okay. It is equal to pi by 3 plus sine pi minus theta. Sine pi minus theta is sine theta. So sine pi by 3. Which is equal to pi by 3 plus sine pi by 3 value is root 3 by 2. So f of pi by 3 is pi by 3 plus root 3 by 2. Now take the next point 2 pi by 3. So f of 2 pi by 3 is equal to x plus sine 2x, that is 2 pi by 3 plus sine 2x, sine of 2 into 2 pi by 3, that is 2 pi by 3 plus sine 4 pi by 3. Okay, which is equal to 2 pi by 3 then plus sine pi plus pi by 3. On cross multiplication we get what? 4 pi by 3. 3 pi plus pi, 4 pi by 3. And sine pi plus theta is what? Minus sine theta. It's in the third quadrant. In third quadrant sine is negative. Okay. So 2 pi by 3 minus sine pi by 3. 2 pi by 3. Again we can put the value of sine pi by 3. It's root 3 by 2. So 2 pi by 3 minus root 3 by 2. Clear? Now you can choose the next value 4 pi by 3. Okay, pi by 3 and 2 pi by 3 we find it out. Next f of 4 pi by 3 which is equal to x plus sine 2x, that is 4 pi by 3 then plus sine 2 into 4 pi by 3 which is equal to 4 pi by 3 plus sine 8 pi by 3. So which is equal to 4 pi by 3 plus sine 8 pi by 3 can be written as sine 2 pi plus 2 pi by 3. Okay. Sine 2 pi plus theta. Sine 2 pi plus theta is again sine theta. If you cross multiply, you can verify that. 3 into 2, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. Okay. So 4 pi by 3 then plus sine 2 pi by 3. Sine 2 pi by 3 value we have already find out. What is sine 2 pi by 3? Sine 2 pi by 3. The value is what? Equal to sine pi by 3 and which is equal to root 3 by 2. So plus root 3 by 2. Then f of next value 5 pi by 3. F of 5 pi by 3 is equal to 5 pi by 3 plus sine of 2 into 5 pi by 3, that is 10 pi by 3. And which is equal to 5 pi by 3 plus, this can be written as sine 4 pi minus 2 pi by 3. Okay. 3 4s are 12. 12 pi minus 2 pi is what? 10 pi. And which is equal to 5 pi by 3 So this will be equal to minus sine 2 pi by 3. Okay. So it is equal to 5 pi by 3 minus, again the value is what, root 3 by 2. Sine 2 pi by 3 value is what, root 3 by 2. So here 5 pi by 3 minus root 3 by 2. Now one more value is there, that is the n points in the interval 2 pi. 0, we already find out f of 0 is equal to what? 0. So here f of 2 pi, f of 2 pi will be equal to 2 pi plus sine 2x, 2 into 2 pi, that is 4 pi. And as we know sine n pi equal to 0, we can write sine 4 pi is also equal to 0. So the value becomes 2 pi. Okay, f of 2 pi is equal to 2 pi. Now we can compare all these values and we can choose the maximum and minimum value among these numbers. Okay, so here the maximum value is 2 pi and the minimum value is 0. So here we can write the maximum value. Therefore, the maximum value is equal to 2 pi and the minimum value is equal to 0. Understood? And the next question is, find two numbers whose sum is 24 and whose product is as large as possible. Okay, so we have to find two numbers whose sum is 24 and the product is large as possible. Okay, so here we can take the numbers as x and y. Let the numbers be x and y. So we are given the sum is 24, that is x plus y is equal to 24. From this we can write y is equal to 24 minus x. Then the product of the numbers, product of two numbers, which is equal to xy. You can replace the value of y. So x into 24 minus x or 24x minus x square. Okay. Let it be f of x. Let the product be the function f of x. F of x is equal to 24x minus x square. Okay. Here it is a function of x. So we can write f of x is equal to 24 minus x square. Now we can apply the second derivative test. Okay. So f dash of x is 24 minus 2x and f double dash of x is minus 2. So to find the critical point, we have to equate f dash of x to 0, which implies 24 minus 2x is equal to 0, 2x equal to 24, x equal to 12. Okay, the value of x is 12. Now we have to check whether f double dash of x is positive or negative when x is equal to 12. So when x is equal to 12, f double dash of x is equal to what? Minus 2. Okay, here there is no variable, so the number itself minus 2, and clearly it is less than 0. So double dash less than 0 means the function has a maximum value. Here the function we take it as the product of two numbers, the product function. So what we can conclude, f of x is, therefore f of x is maximum when x is equal to 12. Okay, f of x means here the product is maximum when x equal to 12. Therefore the numbers are first one is 12 and the y value is 24 minus 12. 24 minus 12 is also again what? 12. Okay, so the numbers are 12 comma 12. Clear? Now we move on to the next question. Find two positive numbers x and y such that x plus y is equal to 60. So given x plus y is equal to 60. From this I am going to find the value of x in terms of y. Okay. So x equal to 60 minus y. And x y cube is maximum. So we have to find two numbers x and y such that x plus y, the sum of the two numbers is equal to 60 and the product of x and y cube is maximum. Okay. So let the product be p is equal to x y cube. Okay. And we can write it as 60 minus y into y cube. Instead of x, I replace 60 minus y. Okay. So which is equal to 60 y cube minus y raised to 4. So this is the product function. That means x y cube. Okay. Is a function of y. Okay. Now we can find the first order derivative and the second order derivative. dp by dy is equal to 60 into 3y square. It is 180 y square. Then minus 4y cube. Then the second order derivative d square p by dy square is equal to 180 into 2, 360y. Then minus 12y square. Okay. Now to find the critical point, we have to equate first order derivative to 0. dp by dy is equal to 0 implies 180 y square minus 4 y cube is equal to 0. Here we can take on 4 y square common. So 4 y square into, here what we get, 4 4s are 16, that is 45. Okay, 45 minus, here 4 y square we take it out, so y which is equal to 0. Which implies 4y square is equal to 0 or 45 minus y is equal to 0. From this we can write y equal to 0 or y is equal to 45. But y equal to 0 is not possible since we have to find two positive numbers x and y. So it is not possible. But y equal to 0 is not possible. Therefore y is equal to what? 45. Now we can check the sign of the second order derivative when y equal to 45. So when y is equal to 45, d square p by dy square is equal to 360 into 45 minus 12 into 45 square. So here in these two terms we can take on 12 and 45 common. 12 into 45. Here 12 3s are 36, so we can write 30. 30 minus, okay, 12 into 45 we take it out, 145 remains. So 12 into 45 into minus 15. No need to multiply and write a single answer. We have to check whether it is positive or negative. Okay. So this much step is enough. So clearly it is less than 0. Plus into minus is minus. So it is less than 0. So what we can conclude? The function is maximum when y is equal to 45. So therefore p is maximum when y is equal to 45. So y is equal to 45 means x is equal to what? That is x is equal to, here x is 60 minus y. So 60 minus 45 and that will be equal to 15. Therefore the numbers are 15 and 45. Clear? That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Thank you.